So this video is specifically for people who have been laid off, their job's been switched to part-time, or they're working at a startup and don't know what to do next. For those of you old enough to remember the Great Recession back in 2008, at that time, I was just recently graduating from college. 2007 was our graduating class, and basically we were walking into the world with the same sort of prospects of not knowing where we could get a job, how we could build a career, and that really shaped pretty much my entire career from there. I realized I wasn't going to get a good paying job. One, because frankly nobody wanted to hire me, and two, because nobody was really hiring in the industries I was looking to get a job. I was a marketing major and nobody was doing any marketing or anything like that. So really what it forced me to do is figure out how to fend for myself. And that's what launched my career of building websites, selling websites, learning to code, building products that inspired me and helped me create an amazing life. It took a long time to get to that point. That Great Recession is what got me into the life that I love so much that I have now. Fast forward 12 years to 2020, and if you're graduating college or recently unemployed or laid off or working at a startup, it's those same really scary times, and we don't really know what the future is going to hold. But pretty much everything that's happened up until this point, we have to kind of reframe how we're thinking about things and find a new approach and find out what people are really interested in doing after the coronavirus lifts. Because the one piece of advice I can leave you with is I guarantee it's going to get better. It's going to get worse, most likely, but a year from now, 2 years from now, 6 months from now, whatever that time period it is, it's going to get better, and that's what you have to hold on to hope for. And that's the reality that you have to imagine in your mind. You have to plan day by day for what the world is going to look like and how to be best prepared to take on everything that's changed. So in today's episode, I'm going to talk to us three people who are either unemployed, laid off, or working at startups, and the best career and also credit card strategies to get us there. So if you guys are ready to will that optimism, smash that like button, and let's get started. Hey guys, my name is Andrew Wise, and here at Life Tailored, we teach you how to hack credit card points to survive the coronavirus. So first of all, let me know down below, are you unemployed, recently laid off, working part-time, working at a startup, or working in an entertainment or some other field that's thriving right now? But first of all, we're going to talk about the folks who are unemployed, who I think are at biggest risk of all sorts of calamities happening to you. So I wanted to get that advice out to you first, and hopefully this advice will be applicable to other people who are going through some sort of pain or suffering. So first of all, I wanted to say, you have my deepest apologies. It's a really hard time right now. But what I want to do here is try to inspire you to see the light at the end of the tunnel. So step one is what you want to do is go on the unemployment website for your state, for the federal website. I'm going to put a link down below, and apply for unemployment benefits. There's $2 trillion. A slice of that is going out to people who are unemployed. There are a bunch of checks going out that if you made certain income brackets, you're going to get $1,200 or $500 for kids. So make sure and get that free money that the government's giving out. It's there, put into your pocket so you spend it to hopefully rebound the economy as quickly as possible. And secondly, if you're watching this video, that means that one, you have either a phone or a computer plus an internet connection, and that's pretty much all you need to remake your entire career. Back in 2007, I learned to code, I learned to market, I learned to build websites, and all of these resources are out there for free, available on YouTube, available on Code Academy, available on General Assembly. All you have to do is type in learn to code for iOS, and you're going to get on your way really quickly. I spoke to somebody on a Zoom call last week. She didn't know anything about coding, but through a course, she's now built a mini replica of Yelp that's fully functional. It's all step by step, and even if you don't think coding is for me, give it a shot. It's fun, it kind of engages you, and at the end of the day, it can give you a lucrative career out of this. So look at the time that you have being stuck in your house or stuck wherever you are, and devote that like you would to a job. 9 to 5, learn to do a new skill. I'm going to put a link down below to another website that talked about what industries and companies are growing and thriving during this, and maybe you want to position yourself to get a job at one of these companies. And in addition to those flashy companies that I've got down below, think about what people are buying right now. Definitely buying toilet paper. That's something people will always need. Definitely buying hand sanitizer. People are buying medical supplies. We still need our trash to be taken away in an efficient, safe, responsible way. People are still buying liquor. They're still buying booze. People are still buying nuts and bolts adults to build stuff. So these are industries that are always going to be there. They may not be the sexiest industries out there, but if you're looking for safe careers, start looking into these industries that they're just always going to be there. No matter how good or bad things get, these places will always keep you employed and secure. So in terms of a game plan, hopefully that works for you guys. Use your time wisely to re-educate yourself to be best positioned for when the fog breaks and companies start hiring again. They're going to ask you, so what do you do during your time while you're on quarantine? And you can tell them, I did the only thing I really could, and that's to get smarter, get better educated, get prepared for what's to come. You didn't sit there and mope and think about how the world's going to end and just watch the news constantly, which just puts you into like a flurry of just negativity, which I've tried to block out. I'm just focused on re-educating myself, learning as much about the next economy that's going to come and preparing myself for that. So now let's move on to people who are part-time employed. So most likely you had a job that you probably loved that now they've reduced the workforce. So maybe you're in like the travel space, you're in events, you're in hospitality, anything that required people going on airplanes or gathering together. If you're in sports, same sort of thing. You love your job, you want to stay what you're doing, but the new reality is you have 50% extra time to devote to something else. 50% of Americans have a side hustle. So if you're in a part-time position where you're planning to go back to work, I would see what you can do as a side hustle now. There are sites like Fiverr, Fiverr.com, that you can pay somebody $5, $10, $50, $100 to do some skill, and it's a recurring side income stream. So say you're really good at marketing and design, you can list your services up there. The market's going to dictate how much that's worth, but basically it's another way to get some income and make up for the fact that you've just dropped by 50%, 20%, whatever it is. These part-timers too can learn to code. You can learn all of these amazing skills online for free, just from the privacy and convenience of our home. You know, we can sit in our pajamas and work. Isn't that what people always said they wanted to do? So now is our opportunity to do it. And really the message I'm trying to get through to you guys is, let's take this opportunity and make the most of it. Turn lemons into lemonade. That's the mentality I want you to get out of watching this video. Okay, now let's talk about startup. So startup is where I am now. Back in 2007, I was basically unemployed, and that message I was telling you is what I was telling myself to get myself out of it. But now, for the past year and a half, Wei and I have spent building Capture. We created a really amazing travel photography experience, and that all went away like that. So on, what was it, March 9th, I think is when they locked down travel, or maybe it was March 12th. But that week they banned travel from Europe, and that effectively cut out anybody coming into New York City for photos. They want to get as far away from the city as they can. So our business basically disappeared, and I was devastated. It took me probably a week to kind of get perspective on things and understand that, listen, sunk costs are a real thing. I was focusing so much on the year and a half I had spent building this, as opposed to looking at where can we pivot from here? You know, how can we use what we've already created, look at what the market is demanding, and provide something to fill that void. Because the good thing is, when we started the year and a half ago, we had all these competitors and we were all competing at the same level. They had started before us, they had more money, they were smarter, more talented, they had been doing it, they knew exactly what to do. They had the playbook. But as of coronavirus, we're all starting from the same level. So no matter how much money they've raised, that's actually a hindrance, because they've got to backtrack and figure out, do we lay off everyone? Do we rebuild all of the technology we've built? What's our game plan? For us, we can start fresh and look at what's the best opportunity and cherry pick those opportunities. And meanwhile, some of our competitors might be dying off, and that provides opportunity for us. I want to give you 5 names here: Instagram, Slack, Uber, Venmo, Pinterest. These 5 companies were all started around the Great Recession of 2008. Look at them today. Slack is my favorite work tool. Slack was originally started as a gaming company, and the messaging app was just kind of a built-in thing they used to communicate better. And now it's turned out that 11 years later, Slack is leading the way. Them and Zoom are kind of neck and neck of this new coronavirus economy. So think about the opportunity of what the world's going to look like in the future. You may have lost everything, but you've gained the opportunity to start at that level playing field, and it's basically a reset button. Now, if that advice was helpful to anyone out there, please drop us a like to get this video some more views and get that advice to other people who may be in those situations and could use the help. Now, let's get back to the life tailored that you know and love, the credit card hacking strategies, and I'm going to talk about 2 different strategies here. Either one, you're still getting delivery from restaurants because you want to support the economy, you have enough extra cash flow that you can help support them. And 2, if you're in full hunker down mode, which is what I was in 2008, and basically you're trying to conserve as much cash as possible. So the first card for the people still getting delivery, still eating out, so to speak, getting pickup, we're going to talk about the Amex Gold card. And the reason I love the Amex Gold card, it's going to get 4x points on Seamless and Grubhub. It's going to get us $120 annual dining credit. That's $10 a month when you use it on Grubhub or Seamless. And one of the tricks is when you get the card, make sure to add it as a payment method in the account. I know I made the mistake of running like my other Chase Sapphire Reserve in there that gets 3x, but I want the 4x plus at $10 because you don't get the $10 unless you put it on the card. The card also gets 4x back at supermarkets. It's got a 35K welcome bonus. It's good after you spend 4K in the first 3 months, and there is an annual fee of $250, but if you're using the card like you would normally for delivery, it's going to pay for itself. For those of us in lockdown mode, what we're looking for in a credit card is 0% balance transfer, 0% interest, no annual fee, and hopefully some form of cash back to get some credit card hacking going. And the card that matches those qualifiers is Capital One Saver Cash Rewards Credit Card. It's a mouthful, so sorry I had to look down and reference the exact name, but this card gets 3x cash back on dining and entertainment, 2x on grocery stores, and 1x on everything else. It also has 0% interest on balance transfers for the first 15 months, 0% interest on interest rates, is that right? 0% interest for 15 months on interest, so you can carry a balance for 15 months, and hopefully that's long enough to ride this out. Plus, it has 0 annual fee. And finally, just as a kicker, you're going to get $150 in a welcome bonus when you spend $500 in the first 3 months. So we've got cash back, we've got balance transfer protection, we've got interest rate protection, plus we've got some cash back bonus. So hopefully 15 months is enough to sustain ourselves, use this card as an emergency. We're not going to pay any interest. We're not going to get killed by the banks. And these two cards are going to fit both of your scenarios. If I missed any scenarios, let me know down in the comments. I can do a follow-up video and talk about your specific situation, because that's really what this channel is all about and why I created it. It's to connect with you guys out there and pass on any wisdom or knowledge or experience that I have, better your lives. Now, if you guys are in full re-education mode, ready to learn about as much as you can, I'm going to put a link to a video coming up here that talks about how I started my own business. And basically what you want to do is forget the industry that I'm talking about here, but more so look at the strategies of how I went step by step to build that business. It's something you can easily do. It's something you can do now that you have extra spare time. And it's a fundamental that you can apply to your next job if that's what you're going after. If you haven't already, subscribe and hit the bell. New videos coming out every week. Can't wait to see you guys there. Keep watching, stay safe, and keep that positive attitude up. See you guys.